Rayvon. Rayvon, thank you very much indeed. Rather like the DJ in Phoenix Nights, Rayvon. But Rayvon's in touch because you remember one of the things we're doing this week is we were doing things that it would be all right if you still had them. It'd be fine if you still had them. Things you've lost, you treasured, and it's never gonna come back. But it's that moment of parting. The terribly poignant story heard of the kid and his favourite marble that fell down the grate at Kew Gardens.
Oh, that was heartbreaking.
Well, his parents said, "No, come on, leave it. Come on, we've got to go leave it," and you have to leave it, and that would stay with you. But that says nothing compared to what Rayvon gives us here. Listen to this, everyone. Here we go. The boy's story about the prized marble. Now I give you the girl's side of things. It is 1962. My mother and father had packed me off to sleep on an overnight train while they went for a drink in the other carriage. So far, so terrific. Before leaving me, and I was only 6, and my brother, they said, "Now don't leave your bed." They maybe said it with too much emphasis. "We're only in the next carriage." My mother then pressed my old doll into my arms and kissed us goodnight and quietly disappeared down the long gangway. In the faint light, I was still peeping out under the curtains at my mum and dad vanishing into the other carriage, and I realised my brother and I were alone in a long, dark, rackety carriage, shaking from left to right noisily. I was scared of what might be behind that curtain. Brother cried for a while and then he fell asleep, and now I was totally on my own. I just pulled the blanket up over my head and cuddled the doll. My old doll, was I glad to see her. You see, I thought I'd lost her in the park a week beforehand. I didn't tell Mum, because I remember hiding under my coat when she told me to leave it at home. We weren't rich, and she would have clipped me a bit for losing my only toy, and for disobeying her. But that night in the dark on the jiggering train, I squeezed my doll close to me as I trembled in fear. I whispered, "It's all right, Dolly, it's all right. I'll keep you safe." And I held her so close and tight. And for that journey, Dolly felt real and like an old friend, and I vowed to protect her and never to part with her again. We were like lost souls hiding under that blanket. Now and again I would look hard at her, just making out her bald head and her missing eye, and the one that was there did not open. It would open with a firm shake. Her missing arm makes her dress hang loosely, but it was damaged. But as you know, she was my doll, and I loved her. The next morning we were woken by Mum. "Come on, hurry up, we're off here, this is our stop, we're getting off." And she and Dad lifted me out of bed and carried me off that train. Well, you know what, don't you? By the time the train began to move off, I was fully awake, and I feel my chest cave in as I remembered, "Oh, my doll, my doll!" I screamed, it was still in the bed. Mum said, "Oh, it's a rotten old thing, it's broken, I'll get you a new one." The tears poured down as the train pulled away. They were shocked. My mum couldn't console me, and my dad, still holding, turned to leave the station and said, "Come on, we've got to go, I'll get you another one, first thing." I just stared at the fast disappearing train. It took me a while to get over the dolly. Once we had found each other the week before, and now I had abandoned her again, all on her own, on that horrible train. No one to comfort her. I cried for Dolly, and I promised I would never have another doll. Throughout my childhood, I never took any interest in toys again, and my dad always thought that because I was a serious child, more interested in books. He didn't know. He didn't know of my silent pain. Somewhere out there was a dolly, stuffed down the side of a train's bunk bed, hiding, waiting, trusting one day I was going to board that train again. Never have. That's about as sad as it gets.
Can't bear that. It's just too much.
It really is, isn't it? I thought I'd start.
Where's that dolly now?
I know. I don't know. I mean, I don't want to, add eye to eye here, but I'd like to think there was some kind of repository. They kept all the toys left on a train. But 1962, still steam. Them furnaces have got to be fed. There it is.
You can't say that.
I just read it. There it is. And but no one's got a more heartbreaking story of, losing something than that. I know it. I know it. I know it.